if you're a part of the culture of careful critical discourse, you don't come out and say the deep state tried to kill Donald Trump because there's no direct evidence. We have are an accumulation of mind-numbing, bewildering, grotesque errors by the Secret Service that the mind just recoils at simply labeling them as incompetence towards.
The regular Secret Service detail assigned to Donald Trump was pulled off. And they then brought in this agent from Pittsburgh who's not experienced, and they brought in other personnel, and they may have brought in Homeland Security folks. Part of the advanced work that a Secret Service team assigned to an event like this is supposed to do is do a 360-degree sweep of the perimeter, going out about 1,000 yards. They did not do the sweep of that particular building, set of buildings that were off to Donald Trump's right where the shot was taken from. They didn't do it. They assigned that to the local police. Oh, you guys take care of it. Well, that's problem number one. Problem number two is we're now learning that there was a lot of information that there is a possible suspect out there in the crowd. And once you have a problem, protocol for Secret Service is pull the protectee off. Don't let him get out there in public.
Right. So if you say this was a conspiracy by the deep state, you cannot be part of the elite. Charles Murray is quoted in Ronnie Goldman's book. The culture of the new upper class carries with it an unmistakable whiff of we're better than the rabble mentality. The daily yoga and jogging that keep them whipper thin, not just healthy things for them to do. People are overweight, are less admirable as people. Deciding not to recycle does not reflect just an alternative opinion about whether recycling makes sense. It is inherently irresponsible. Smokers are not to be worried about, but to be held in contempt. Right? If you chug a cheap domestic beer at a NASCAR track or a monster truck competition, right? This is an example of the unself-conscious coarseness of the medieval, who has not yet been disciplined into the peculiar courtly rationality. Instead, they just live in a world defined by squalor, danger, and physicality. They're not part of the more refined pleasures, sipping white wine or drinking a latte at an art gallery. They're not fit to be at court.
Number three, no integrated communications. So you've got federal, state, and local police, and they should all be up on one channel where they can all call up and communicate, and you make sure the information is cycled back into the Tactical Operations Center, also known as the TOC. That didn't happen. Then how do you know who's friend and who's foe? Well, even in the war in Ukraine, we watch the Ukrainians are wearing blue armbands. They tie a blue ribbon around one of their arms, and the Russians tie a white ribbon around their arms. Why? So you make sure you don't shoot your buddies. Well, how do you know out in that environment that you're not, one of the questions that was raised, the possibility they were confused on whether this kid was a part of the local police. They failed to have a color of the day so that they could readily identify. I mean, it goes on and on and on. What the good news was, though, they did assign a second counter sniper team to the event. And that second counter sniper team, who really hasn't been photographed. We've got the photograph of the guys who, if you're looking at Donald Trump, they're up on the roof to the left, guy with the tripod. Turns out their field of vision was obscured by a tree. So they didn't have a direct field of vision. And then when the gunfire shots, they're ducking down and going for cover.
So if you suspect there was a deep state conspiracy to take out Donald Trump, you have to slum it. No respectable expert, no member of the culture of careful critical discourse will say things like you're hearing now.